Welcome to this episode of Evolved Mastery. I'm your host, Princeton Clark, and I'm excited about today's episode because we're going to be talking about unlocking your full potential. And I'm going to be giving you strategies for personal growth and self-mastery. Guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning into the podcast and joining me on this journey as we prepare to unleash so many new topics and so many new discussions and interviews. But today's topic, it's so important, because a lot of people come into this world and they're full of potential, but they struggle to unlock that potential. And so we're going to go ahead and dive into this topic today. And I want to be here for a good time, as I always say, but not for a long time. I just want to give you guys some valuable strategies for personal growth and self-mastery. The first topic that we're going to be talking about today is understanding the concept of self-mastery. If you guys are new to the Evolve Mastery podcast, then you understand that how most people talk about mastery in most forms is pushing and constantly dedicating yourself to a process and, all these heavy words and descriptions. But as I teach self-mastery is about surrender. It's about surrendering to the most powerful version of you that you have the potential to be in this moment. And as I've said in podcasts previous, a lot of the times when we talk about the word surrender, people say, I just struggle with surrendering. And I always tell them, no, you don't actually struggle with surrendering. What you're actually struggling with is surrendering to the right things, because we surrender to our excuses. We surrender to the failure to create healthy habits. We surrender to not showing up for ourselves on a daily basis. I can go on and on down a list of things that we surrender to that do not serve us. But it's time to start surrendering to the things that are going to evolve you and move you down a path of self-discovery and opening you up to a level of power that unlocks your potential. Self-mastery is a daily process. It's you versus you. It's you assessing and taking action in the areas that are keeping you from creating that business, those relationships, and the overall ideal life that you have the power, potential, and purpose to create. And so we're going to dive into this topic, but I want you guys to understand that it all starts with your capacity to be 100% honest with yourself about how you're choosing to show up in your life, and then doing a daily assessment and looking at the opportunities that you're given every single day to be the most powerful version of you and surrender to the opportunity of your growth. Life is about you. You understanding the deeper levels of you understanding the power that you have to create more love, more consistency, more compassion, more empathy, more power, and unlocking your potential to create and leave something amazing to the world. As we begin to dive into these areas of self-mastery throughout these strategies that I'm going to share with you, it's so important that we start identifying the areas for our own personal growth and development. I've worked with clients all over the world, and every time that I get to work with someone, the most beautiful part about working with the clients that I've been able to work with is taking them down a path of exposing the things that they have, or the areas rather, let's say that the areas where they have blind spots. And at every level that we grow to, no matter what part of your journey that you're in, we all have blind spots. Even I have blind spots. And that's why you always hear the saying, even coaches have coaches. The best at anything have always had coaches. They've always had mentors. They've always studied to be the best form of themselves possible. But they had to identify first the areas that were limiting them in personal growth and development. And this means that as you start taking the journey every day and every week, every month, every hour, every moment that you get, you should be looking at yourself and asking yourself, am I truly showing up in a way that is going to get me an ROI, that's going to get me a return on the investment of my time that I am putting into each moment? Because if we are not showing up, if we are not taking the steps and doing the work, as I always tell my clients, there's no point in complaining about the results that you don't get from the work that you don't do. So next step is, as we begin to assess, as we begin to look at our lives, look at our relationships, look at our business opportunities and the things that we've been given to create and grow through, We have to start setting clear goals as we improve our lives. We have to start getting clear. And as I always teach my clients, setting goals is not as simple as just writing your goals down. You don't just write the goal down. From where you are, when you write goals down, go through each one of those goals and ask yourself, what are the steps to achieving this goal? And then go through each one of them. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you a roadmap. It's going to give you a compass. It's going to give you the ability to gauge your progress every single day. It's going to give you the ability to see where you're taking steps or where you haven't taken steps. And this is so important for your self-improvement. And so many people fail in this area. They will talk about what they want. They'll dream about what they want. They'll do their positive affirmations, but they never set clear goals. And then they don't create steps to achieving the goal. And then from there, most people try to do everything on their own. But I always tell people, as you're setting goals, get people into your life. Create a circle around you of people who are going to hold you accountable to achieving those goals. You don't have to get a coach. Just people that you trust. Say, hey, I'm at this point where I'm getting ready to take these steps. These are my goals for this week or this month or this year. And I'm letting you know because I trust you to hold me accountable. If you see me at any point in my journey not taking the correct steps or complaining or procrastinating or making excuses or doing anything that's out of alignment with achieving these goals, I give you the permission to challenge me. I give you permission to check in on me and ask me, am I doing the work that is required for me to do? See, we got to get strategic about how we live our lives. We got to get strategic about how we set our goals. We got to get strategic about identifying the areas that we truly want to grow in. And then we have to start cultivating self-awareness, because self-awareness becomes a foundation for self-mastery. The more aware I become of my actions, the more habits I create around these habits, the more I'm going to grow. The faster I'm going to grow, the more consistently I'm going to grow. And in doing this, by cultivating deeper levels and more aware levels of self-awareness, what we start doing is harnessing the power of self-discipline. We start harnessing the power of consistency. See, the more we show up, the more we discipline ourselves, the more we're going to be able to see the results, the more we're going to be able to assess more deeply, the more we're going to be able to move more efficiently in our lives. And so as we start doing these things, this is when we start to truly see our lives evolve. This is when we start overcoming obstacles. And we start seeing them because our perspective starts to shift and we stop complaining about the things that are not happening. We stop complaining about the challenges and we start seeing them as opportunities for growth. As I always tell my clients, if you change the way you see things, the things that you see will change. So we have to start getting strategic about overcoming the obstacles. We have to start being more consistent in doing the work that's going to allow us to move more efficiently. And as we begin to do this, we're going to start seeing new wins. We're going to start seeing new doors open. We're going to start seeing new areas of growth. And this is where we must start celebrating the small wins, start celebrating the progress along the way, start patting yourself on the back, start rewarding yourself for the growth. And this doesn't mean go overboard. Maybe for each goal that you accomplish, gamify it. Set a goal, and if you achieve that goal, say, if I achieve this goal, I'm going to reward myself by taking myself shopping, or I'm going to reward myself by going to a movie or going out to dinner or doing something that you genuinely enjoy that you normally don't give yourself permission to do. Because life is not just about work. It's about creating experiences that bring you joy. And so we want to make the process of your evolved mastery a joyful one. A one that's filled with love, one that's filled with progress, one that's filled with experiences that light you up. Because what's the point of living and creating new experiences if you don't take time to slow down and celebrate the wins along the way? Start going out with friends that are holding you accountable. Say, we're going to celebrate at the end of this month. These are the goals that I've set for myself. And I want you guys to hold me accountable because when we achieve these goals, I want to go out and I want to have dinner, or I want to go bowling, or I want to do something. I want to take a trip and I'd love for us to go. Anything that gives you joy, start doing those things to celebrate the process. Make it in a more enjoyable experience, not a stressful one. Because as I always say, you get to do this. You don't have to do anything. You could continue just surviving and living a mundane life and showing up how everybody else shows up. But that's your choice. But I say, let's get rid of that choice and let's make it a non-negotiable that as we do these things, as we grow, as we embrace each moment, as we take every chance and every choice that we are given to be the most powerful versions of ourselves, we're going to start celebrating it along the way and taking people with us on that journey. But then this is where it gets so awesome, because the people that you carry on that journey with you, you start integrating the feedback from them. You start adapting new strategies, asking for advice, hiring coaches, getting around people, going to events, networking. Get into environments that are going to fuel and feed the progress. See, because a lot of the times we spend so much time trying to do it again on our own, but we were not meant to function on our own all the time. The more we get out and connect and learn from other people, and create more experiences where we are experiencing other people celebrating their growth, other people who desire to grow and also have accountability for themselves, we start building a community around us, and that community becomes so supportive. And this is why I always say, as you grow, your community should also grow with you. Because there are going to be moments where you may outgrow the current circle. And you may be in one of those moments now where you've been for so long, and the people around you don't see what you see. They're not inspired by what you're inspired by. Family doesn't see it. Your current friends don't see it, and this is where you have to love them enough to keep going, as I always say, to climb the mountain. And if they choose to grow, you can throw the rope back and pull them up. But in the meantime, start making it a point to get around people who are going to inspire you. Start making it a point to get around people who are going to pull you up. Start making it a point to go and do things that you've never done before. Things that are going to challenge you to stretch into newness. Things that are going to challenge you to be a wiser, more efficient, more loving, more expanded, more evolved version of yourself. Because you only get this one life. So make this life worth it. And as you begin to do that, you begin to build this inspiring story. You began to share your experiences. You began to add light, not only to your life, but to the lives of those who cross your path. And that light begins to create a legacy that even if you took your last breath, it would continue to live on. See, the greatest thing that we can do in our lives is to grow, evolve, gain wisdom, and leave that wisdom behind for those who come behind us to glean from, to grow from, to evolve from, so that they will continue to take that wisdom, build upon it, and make this world a better place, adding more light to the world. I see so many people who complain about the world as it is, but why complain when you can be the change? You are a powerful individual. You have the ability to create something amazing. You have the ability to give birth to things that this world has never seen. I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe years ago. He was one of my favorite authors and speakers. And he asked the question, where is most of the potential in the world? His answer to that question was, in the graveyard. People who have passed on from this life and never wrote books, never sung songs, never gave birth to that invention, never started that business that could have changed the world. On and on and on and on. Potential that was buried. My question for you guys listening today is, will your potential be buried, or will you unlock it? Will you give yourself permission to be the greatest, brightest, most efficient, most powerful version of you? To bring something to the world that the world has yet to see? Or will you live just to be another fading memory? I want you to think about that today. I want you to really, really think about that. Your life is your choice, people. And you have the opportunity to do something with your life that makes this world a much better place. So, as we begin to end this podcast, like I said, I wanted to be here for a good time, but not for a long time, because I know people get busy and there's so many things that I could dive into. But I'm shifting gears a little bit. I just want to give you guys tools and just have a momentary conversation with you guys. Give you guys wisdom that I've gained and push you, encourage you to step into it, emulate it, make it your own, to create something amazing with your life. I always tell people I haven't always been who I am. And if you've been following this podcast long enough, you know that I say that all the time. I didn't start here. At one point, people said I was hopeless, but now people say I'm a beacon of light. And I'm grateful because I took a chance on me. I took a chance. I took a chance to be powerful. I took a chance on loving myself, believing in myself, and doing something that brought light not only to my life, but light to the lives of every person who crosses my path. And I encourage you guys, maybe your journey is not my journey. Maybe you're not here to do what I do, but you're here to do something. You wouldn't be here if that were not true. But what I do know is that there is so much potential in you. And if you're listening to this podcast, something in you knows it. You've known it for a long time, but you've been scratching at the surface, waiting, hoping, dreaming of the change, waiting, hoping, dreaming for the newness in your life, not realizing that this entire time, the newness was waiting for you. The newness was waiting for you to wake up. The newness was waiting for you to start surrendering to your power. Identify that you have so much in you that you can create. It was waiting for you to start setting clear goals to improve your life. It was waiting for you to embrace the growth mindset and to start learning and evolving like the beautiful, brilliant soul that you are. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You have so much power to create something. What will you create? How will you change your relationships? How will you change the story of your life? What business are you going to build that creates change in the world? What influence are you going to create? What legacy will you leave behind? Ask yourself that today. How bad do you want it? Because the life that you've been waiting for has been waiting for you. And so as we continue on, I want you to think about what I've talked about today. I want you to re-listen to it over and over and over again. I want you to take notes. I want you to walk through your life understanding that if you just take the steps, if you just do the work, if you just set the goals, make yourself accountable, get clear on what you truly desire. Everything in your life can change, but it's all up to you. Guys, I appreciate you for tuning into my podcast. As life has evolved, as I continue to grow, as I continue to create new experiences, my only desire is to know that even if only one person reads my books, listens to my podcast, goes through my coaching, that one person steps into their potential, their power, their purpose. I am gifted and blessed and honored to live this life, just as you are. And I always say, I want this cup of my life to be empty when I'm gone. I want you to empty your cup as well. Don't go to the grave. Don't transition from this life still holding on to gifts that you never gave birth to. I want you to be a memory that is never forgotten. I want you to join me as a leader for humanity, as a leader for change, as a leader for our future and future generations. Because you have the power to. And if you're listening to this podcast, you know that you have the power to. All right? I hope you guys enjoyed today's talk. I got a lot more coming. Some of them will be longer, some of them may be shorter. Just depends on what's flowing through me at the time. But understand that it's time for you to start unlocking your full potential. It's time for you to get strategic in your personal growth. It's time for you to surrender to mastering your life. It's time to surrender to creating more joy, creating more opportunities, creating more experiences in this world, in your life, that brings light into your life, but also brings light into the world. Because you are a gift. You are a gift in this world. And if you really start believing that, you can do something amazing. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Evolve Mastery. I want to give you guys a few updates really quick. I've launched the Master Reboot program, and it's at masterrebootprogram.com. And it's a 6-lesson program, and it's only $47. But it gives you a deep dive. It's recordings from my previous 6-week mentorship program, my Master Reboot mentorship program, and people pay hundreds of dollars to be a part of this program. But I decided I was going to take the recordings, put them into a program. So if you are one of those people who are saying, I'm ready to reboot my life, I need to create some changes, I just need the wisdom to do it. I know I want to do certain things, but I struggle asking myself the right questions and coming up with the right answers that are in alignment with me. If that's you and you're ready to find more flow in your life, you're ready to start mastering your mindset, you're ready to start mastering your vision and your goals, you're ready to start mastering your intuition, you're ready to start understanding a deeper level of perception, and you're ready to start unlocking your gifts, the ones that you are aware of and the ones that you have yet to even experience, then this program is for you. It's 6 lessons, and 4 of the lessons are walkthroughs of a PDF slide for each of those lessons. So you also get the PDF for those lessons so that you can take notes and go back. And then there's also a workbook. And with each lesson, there are 7 questions. And these are deep, reflective questions. And you must grow through this process, really understanding, asking these questions, giving yourself time to journal and think about them. Because this isn't just something you do and just try to breeze through it just to get it done. It's something that will help you truly reboot your life and reset the stage so you can start writing a new story. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, go over to masterrebootprogram.com. You can also go to my Instagram at Princeton Clark if you're not already following me there. And the link tree in my bio has all my links. I also have an inspirational album. It's just me speaking over music, and it's called Time to Rise, Inspiration for Life. I want you guys to check that stuff out. And don't forget, I have 2 books. My #1 international bestseller, Awakening Your Inner Master, The Journey of Self-Mastery. And then my most recent book, Warrior of Love, Speaker of Truth. And that's a decade anthology. That's one of those books that you literally can open up to any point in the book and just start reading, and it's going to give you wisdom for your life. But know that I have so much more coming, and I'll be releasing more stuff and giving you guys more information as new podcasts begin to come out. But know that I truly appreciate you and honor you for the time that you give to listening, to bring more value into your life, to start making the right decisions to elevate and master your life. I'm so honored to be able to do this and share the wisdom that I've been given. But it's nothing if you don't apply it. But stay tuned. There's a lot more coming. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Evolve Mastery. Remember, There is potential in you waiting to be unlocked. Utilize these strategies, utilize the information given, and start applying it today, because there's a master in you that's ready to rise. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time it is that you're listening to this podcast, and I'll be talking to you soon.